Nikola Tesla is often remembered as a forgotten genius, but that description hides something more interesting. Most people think Tesla fascinates the world because he invented remarkable technologies. The truth is more complicated. More than 80 years after his death, people are still debating not only what he created, but what he was actually trying to achieve. His name appears in science books, documentaries, internet discussions, and popular culture. Sometimes he is portrayed as a visionary far ahead of his time, sometimes as a misunderstood inventor, sometimes as something almost mythical. The question is why? To understand that, it helps to look beyond the stories that surround him and focus on the structure of his life and work. Tesla was born in 1856 in what is now Croatia, then part of the Austrian Empire. From an early age, he displayed an unusual ability to visualize complex objects and systems in his mind. Instead of relying heavily on drawings, he often claimed he could design, test, and refine inventions mentally before building them. As a young engineer, he became fascinated by a problem that many people outside technical fields rarely think about today: how electricity should be delivered. At the time, electricity was becoming increasingly important, but there was no universally accepted system for distributing it efficiently over long distances. The technology existed, but the infrastructure was limited. Tesla believed there was a better approach. That idea eventually brought him to the United States, where he arrived in 1884 with little money and enormous ambition. At first, the path seemed straightforward. Identify a problem, design a solution, build the future. But reality rarely follows that pattern. Tesla worked briefly with inventors and business leaders, including the famous inventor Thomas Edison. Yet, disagreements emerged. Technical visions differed, business interests differed, priorities differed. From the outside, invention can appear simple. A person has an idea, the idea succeeds. Progress follows. Tesla's experience revealed something different. A good idea was only one piece of a larger system. An invention needed funding. It needed manufacturing. It needed public trust. It needed infrastructure. It needed timing. Again and again, Tesla produced ambitious concepts. Again and again, he encountered obstacles that had little to do with technical capability alone. This is where many historical accounts become oversimplified. Some portray Tesla as a victim of circumstance. Others portray him as a misunderstood genius, surrounded by people who failed to recognize his brilliance. Neither explanation fully captures what happened. As his career progressed, the environment around him became increasingly complex. Technological competition intensified. Financial pressures grew. Public expectations changed. What looked like individual challenges were often symptoms of larger systems. One of Tesla's most significant achievements was his work on alternating current, commonly known as AC electricity. At the time, competing methods of electrical distribution existed. Supporters of different systems argued intensely about which approach should become the standard. Eventually, AC proved highly effective for transmitting electricity over long distances, helping shape modern power grids. Today, most people benefit from electrical systems influenced by principles Tesla helped advance. Yet even this achievement reveals something important. The story was never simply about inventing a device. It was about creating an entire framework that could function at scale. Imagine designing a powerful engine without roads, fuel stations, mechanics, or drivers. The invention might work perfectly, but the surrounding system would still determine its impact. Tesla repeatedly operated at that intersection between possibility and practicality. As the years passed, his interests expanded. He explored wireless communication, radio technologies, remote control systems, high-frequency electrical experiments, and ideas about transmitting energy without wires. Some of these concepts influenced future developments. Others remained incomplete. Others generated debate that continues today. This is partly why Tesla remains such a compelling figure. People often focus on individual inventions, but Tesla's deeper fascination comes from the scale of his thinking. He frequently imagined systems that extended far beyond immediate technical limitations. That quality attracts admiration. it also creates misunderstanding. When people encounter ideas that seem larger than existing capabilities, it becomes difficult to separate realistic possibilities from speculation. The real issue isn't whether Tesla was right about everything. It's whether we understand the difference between visionary thinking and practical implementation. That distinction changes how his story appears. Instead of asking whether Tesla predicted the future, a more useful question emerges. How did he approach problems? Again and again, Tesla looked beyond visible outcomes and examined underlying structures. He wasn't only interested in individual machines, he was interested in networks. Not only devices, systems, not only immediate results, long-term possibilities. This perspective helps explain why his legacy survives. Many inventors solve specific problems. Tesla often tried to rethink the environment in which those problems existed. That doesn't mean every idea was achievable. It doesn't mean every prediction was correct. But it does mean his work encourages a different way of thinking. When examining technology, people often focus on what is visible, the product, the invention, the outcome. Tesla's life suggests that equally important questions exist beneath the surface. What system makes the outcome possible? What infrastructure supports it? What assumptions limit it? What conditions allow it to spread? These questions remain relevant today, whether the topic is energy, communication, computing, or emerging technologies. Understanding Tesla requires separating myth from structure. The myths are interesting. The structure is more useful. His achievements were real. His challenges were real. His ambitions were enormous. His limitations were human. Like many influential figures, his legacy became larger than his life. Yet the enduring lesson may have less to do with genius and more to do with perspective. Tesla consistently looked beneath immediate problems and searched for deeper mechanisms shaping them. That habit of thinking still resonates because modern society continues to depend on systems most people rarely see. The next time you hear Nikola Tesla's name, it may be worth looking beyond the legends and focusing on the questions he kept asking about how the world works beneath the surface. If you'd like to explore this topic further, there's a structured breakdown in the description that examines Tesla's major ideas in greater detail. Subscribe for more explorations of the people and concepts that continue to shape the modern world. Thanks for watching.